Now we go to chapter 2. This is the actual pitch contest. So JC was saying that every January they have a pitch contest. So maybe this will be a warm up for someone going on to her event next January. We'll keep our fingers crossed. So the general rules are, oh, Roger, good to see you. Um, we've got 3 companies presenting tonight, and I'll let each one of them introduce themselves because they have a pitch deck. And our general format will be identical for the 3 companies. The company individual founder will have 5 minutes to present. And given the length of the session tonight, we've got to stick to those times. And I'll give the speaker a 30-second notification of the 5 minutes that's coming up. So let's speak to that. And then for each company, the 4 judges that we have out here, Brian, Andrew, Jonathan, and Roger, will have 10 minutes collectively to ask questions to the founders. And then we will ask the judges to take a minute and formulate a very brief summary, a score from 1 being the lowest to 5 being the highest. And you can choose any one of those numbers, including number 3, which we sometimes don't do in the course. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is fine here. And then we'll just ask each of the judges just to give a very brief summary, because we've got to pack all 4 into 5 minutes, pluses and minus, and what their score is. But we'd ask all the judges to do that individually. So if there are no further questions about the process, we will ask our first founder to get ready. Eric Yeung.
Yep.
Eric,
Hello.
get your
Can you hear me?
slide screen. Yep.
Okay.
And when you're set, we'll point the time, we'll get you started, and you will have your 5 minutes of fame. Go to full
Okay, can you
screen.
see my screen?
Yeah, and sort of are you going to go to full screen or leave it in that?
Switch the screen. We've got your speaker notes, Eric.
Oh, this is another screen. Okay. So it's a second. Let me stop sharing.
Down to the
It should-
bottom.
Yeah. Like this one.
Okay,
Let me see.
are you ready to start?
Am I showing the correct screen now?
All good. Yep, correct.
Okay.
Okay, 1933. Go, Eric.
Okay. Have you ever had one of the day you feel like you could not get anything done and constantly interrupt, trying to remember this and trying to remember that, and at the end of the day, you are totally frustrated? And have you ever had one of the days which is flow? All day long, you get things done that you need, and you have all the resources you need when you need them, and you work in what we call the state of flow. This is what Flowpamine does. We keep you and your team in flow to get most done and feel most fulfilled. We always have a day to keep being interrupted by some emails or WhatsApp, just like this. The emails keep pausing your work on hand and updating the information here and there on different systems. In fact, it's not unusual. Office workers are generally having less than 5% of their day working in a flow state. And the most unbelievable fact is, if we are not working in the flow, we are 500% less productive than someone else who does. Which means if we could have 15% of our day working in a flow state, our overall productivity would be double. So what if there is a tool that could lead you and your teammates to work in the flow for the whole day and leaving the office fulfilled with significant progress every day? Flowpamine AI will analyze, organize, and categorize the information from your emails and WhatsApp. That will be consolidated as a number of notes on the whiteboard or task on your to-do schedule, so that all the follow-up items and project details will be visualized in front of your eyes, even you have overlooked the message. Compare with the productivity tools in the market, we are a productivity system. In this one single system, you would know what is need to be aware of, what is need to be done, and when to be done in order to be highly effective. And it is without the need to update the system here and there again. And our opportunity lies in the 1.25 billion office workers in the globe who are wasting 8 hours a week just to search and consolidate the information scattered around from different systems, different places, which causing the company a staggering $3.6 trillion every year. And we are in a B2B SaaS model at $8 per month per user. With the 1.25 billion office worker, we are tapping into a 120 billion worth market. We start our focus in the market with the highest professional density, which is Hong Kong, a $200 million market. And we are now growing in the flywheel. We are offering free trials for the individual user to experience the flow for his personal projects. Then they are transited for corporate subscription when collaboration is needed. Next, the market will be penetrated by the companies share their comprehensive project information with their partner, like how the Hotmail went viral. And upon the beta release last month, we have acquired 10 early adopting customers with 30 daily active users right now, which is going to
30
bring
seconds.
us 1,200 corporate users. So this is a roadmap of Flowpamine. Imagine the development of Flowpamine is like how the best rocket in your company grow. So in this year, we have the executive to work in a highly effective manner by analyze, organize, and categorize the scattered information into insights and actions. And we are now raising $2 million to enhance and improve the AI functionality and onboard to 20,000 corporate users in 18 months with 160,000 monthly recurring revenue. And this is our local sales partner and marketing partner to penetrate the market, along with the local incubator support for Science Park. And Sierra and I are co-founder of Flowpamine. We have facilitated the digital transformation for more than 100 SMB and corporate. And we are now going to transform how people to work smarter in the power of AI.
5 minutes is up. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. Okay, 1938. We've got 10 minutes for the 4 judges. They can just ask as they want, choose their own order until 1948, when we'll ask them to come to a conclusion. So judges, please.
So, Eric, this is a tool that lives on their desktop or their phone or their server.
Okay, so this app will be live in, now we have a web applications, and next we will go, and we have a mobile app right now, and next we will have a desktop apps. And for the infrastructures, it will be, the data will be saved inside the company cloud services or their on-prem server.
So you have an app, but you're going to save data on their server.
Yep.
Okay. Another question.
Hey, Eric.
Hey.
So great opening. You kind of had me at the opening. I could totally relate. And then I didn't understand. So does the app read my emails, or does it check my calendar? How does it know what I should be doing next?
Okay, so basically it will analyze your emails, and based on the recipients, the senders, it would know this content is related to which projects you're working on. And it will analyze the context and tell you the summary of this project and the summary of the project updates and the follow-up items. So after doing this, those follow-up items and the project update will be shown inside Flowpamine. Go to the screen. So the project data will visualize in this manner as a number of nodes. And for the follow-up items and the tasks you have to do, it will be shown in the to-do schedules. So the workers could plan their day in a time box technique.
Interesting.
And Jonathan, you got any more questions, or should I go?
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Eric, thank you for that presentation. One of the questions I have is how are we to feel confident that this visualization and ordering and all of that, how are we to feel confident it's really going to make a significant difference? Like, you've made some very strong claims about increasing productivity. What is it about what it does that is the key to increasing productivity?
Okay, so there's multiple perspectives. The first one is we have to keep juggling between our tab to read the emails and do something we have to analyze. So from here, we have AI to analyze the email content and put the content or summarize the content inside the Flowpamine. This is the first one.
Okay,
It's
so
about the capture.
so a portion of this is because you're not switching tasks. Okay. And what is the other portion?
Okay, so the other portion, I would just kind of categorize them as captured, organized, deliver, and execute. So for the organized part, we have a whiteboard that could visualize the informations and visualize the relationship of the information pieces. So it would be easier for the users to understand, oh, what is the information is related to. So they could brainstormings and do the analysis, especially the qualitative analysis, easier. It's just like how the FBI to investigate a case. So we've put everything on the whiteboard. And the second part, the third part is about delivery. We have another functions that we are not mentioning here. There is a kind of over matrix inside the Flowpamine that the user could prioritize the task based on the urgency and importance. And after it is prioritized, and it comes to this to-do schedules. So it's about executions. So we can plan our task and all events here. It is just basically visualize your day, how your day will work. So it has been synchronized the events or the meetings in your Outlook, and as well as we have the time box techniques task to do. So on one day, you just go back to the office and you look into this calendar, you will know, oh, what's my schedule of today? What's the time for me to have the meeting? What's the time for me to complete this task, etc., etc. So there's four categories on this.
I'll go.
Okay, go ahead, Brian.
Brian?
Hi, Eric. Great to see you. What an improvement that you've made. I love that traction slide, the numbers that you put on it. But before we get there, let me just echo and what Andrew just asked. I think as a suggestion, because this question came up tonight, it came up before as well. I would suggest from a pitching or presentation perspective, maybe add a slide to tell us what are the 3 key decisions or tasks that you help people do or displays, right? Or you want to use some kind of before versus after kind of visualizations to say, okay, for this particular task, before Flowpamine, it takes 1 hour to do. Now it takes 15 minutes, right? So this, and then showed us the percentage of productivity that you create, right? So I think that's just a suggestion, right? And also show us real screenshots. Like, since this is live and ready, you have customer using it, show us the real thing, and you can kind of walk us through that. So that would be my suggestion, because I have the same questions too, right? So, but I'm gonna switch gear a little bit, because the traction slide really impressed me, right? For the 10 customers, can you tell us, are they paying customers, and what are they? What types of companies are they, like big or small, like in any industry in particular?
Okay, so the question is interesting because it's covered from different varieties. So for the industry, for the company itself, it's ranging from IT company, which is a system integrator, from marketings, from financial printing company, and this one is about properties. So it's covered a wide range. So I mean, for the company size wise, so it grows from startups like around 10 employees and up to 300. So those I have mentioned is about financial printings, and the property company is the big company that have 300 employee there. But they have a small team to trying to use this system. So currently we have a kind of small number of daily active user right now, and all of them is a paying user.
All 10 of them are paying, right?
Sorry?
All 10 of them are paying?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
And you talk about like you're raising $2 million. Some of that would go into AI enhancement. Can you tell us a bit about what those are?
Okay, so maybe for this part, I will come to the roadmap. So currently what we are doing for the AI I've mentioned in previous slides is about how to capture the information from emails, how to analyze the information from emails. And next step is what we do is how we can have the AI to organize the information and present in a way that the user would be easy to be absorbed, because now we just have a documents, but some kind of information cannot just go through in a two-way or in a one-way dimension. It have to be shown in a whiteboard. So how we could have the AI to organize the information up on the whiteboard, that the user can understand the full pictures of the projects or the full pictures of their clients. And the final steps it will about how the AI could capture the first-hand business insights from the informations that is captured by the front end or frontier workers. So for example, if a marketing company, they will just randomly search some food or restaurant that is good to suggest to the IG subscriber, let's say. So it is
That's
independent
10
of.
minutes. Let's wrap
sorry.
up. Okay.
Yeah.
Good questions. Interesting. So judges, let's just take these 5 minutes, maybe just take the first minute just to summarize your assessment, both qualitatively and quantitatively. And then we'll just ask each of the four judges to give your conclusion. So take a minute just to finalize your thoughts, and then who's ever ready to go first, please go first. One to five, one's the lowest, five's the highest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any one of those five numbers can be chosen, and just a one or two sentence summary to try to encapsulate your thoughts.
Hey, Eric. So my summary is I think the opening was really strong, really pulled me in. And then I think you went into some very heavy statistics that lost me. And then what I really wanted to see was a demo. I think everyone was like, "Oh, so how does this work?" Because I was trying to wrap my head around how this thing worked. And if you've got a product, I think a very snappy demo would help me visualize what that would be. So I would say that is the presentation. If I was to give you a score, it's a 3. But if you had put in a demo, I would have given you a 4. The traction at the back is fantastic to see. 10 paying clients, amazing.
Thank you.
So that's it from me.
Okay. Who wants to be judge number 2 to speak up?
I'll go, Joe.
Roger.
Yeah, it's a beautiful presentation, but the score is a 2. Part of the challenge I find is very unfocused. Productivity flow and the general trend of AI is not to do these kind of productivity optimization. It's actually labor replacement. We're also in the AI space. We just closed an $80,000 contract, and it's to replace people. So part of the thing we're looking, the pitch deck is, I think that the technology is great, but the trend is not optimization. And also one of the things you want to really think about is that you're trying to do a lot of coordination with the device, which is great, but part of the really thing you're trying to do is actually insight. So you're making 2 promises and they don't naturally link up. The final thought is $2 million is a lot of money, but unless you're developing your own LLM framework, AI is really cheap right now. You can get it for a couple $100 a month. The problem is not the framework. The problem is the data and the operating costs. So I think the $2 million is a huge ask, given that you're not giving us the scope of what you want to accomplish within the money. But it's an interesting problem. Whether or not the problem space will survive AI, that's a going debate. But it's a beautiful presentation. I like to see more detail and more condensation on the concept. So I will probably drop the dopamine because that's not really relevant to what you're trying to do. But I think it's a really good start. Keep going.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Andrew or Brian, who wants to go next? Go,
Brian?
Andrew.
Okay. Eric, I'm going to give you a 3. I just wanted to highlight, I think that you got a great opportunity to do a PowerPoint of helping us get into flow. What is flow? What are the steps of flow? And could you design a PowerPoint where the first 3 to 4 slides is all about, let's get into a flow state? And I think the flow state has to do with no distractions. It has to do with simplicity, staying focused on one thing, not switching. And so you got a great opportunity to create a flow presentation. So I challenge you to do that because that is not easy. The second thing is that I'm a financial analyst, and like the other judges, I'm very skeptical about everything. You presented a lot of statistics at the beginning, but you didn't produce I couldn't see the sources of those predictions. And therefore, I started doubting them. They probably were all true, but I would put some statistics to either say, McKinsey says we're wasting $3 trillion, or have it as a source at the bottom, and then your credibility will go up massively.
Okay.
So that's my my feedback and my advice.
I see. Got it.
Yep.
Thanks, Andrew. Brian, close out the session.
Well, thank you, Eric. You really got my attention because, like Andrew said, you show us a lot of like good numbers, right? You really caught my attention. $120 billion market size, the amount of productivity that your software promised to save, those are all good. But then once you got us interested, I think one big question mark advice I have for you is clearly explain visually what is Flowpamine. Like what exactly are you doing? Like visually, right? I talk about like screenshots, demo, like a table before versus after. Consider all those, like pick one that works for you, but really showed us like as a user, what is a simple use case? I think you kind of talk about it, but I think it's way more powerful if you show us visually. Because I actually have a lot of like small questions here, but then I think the big question is first I want to understand what exactly does it work, right? I'll tell you one of the questions that I have is are employees incentivized to use this thing, right? Of course, you know, as a small business owners and the big boss, yes, of course you want to save productivity, but at the employee level, Like, do we want to use it, right? I'll give you a simple examples, right? When Salesforce first started, it's awesome, right? The UI is awesome. But then the problem is none of the salespeople want to enter their contact, right? First, because they're too busy, they travel a lot. Who wants to spend 2 hours entering like travel receipt, right? Second, I want to keep my contacts to myself. I don't want my competitor, my colleagues to see who I'm talking to, right? So that creates an incentive issues, right? So one of the questions that I have is, okay, well, does Flowpamine kind of solve this incentive issues, right? While it aims to solve the productivity issues, for the big boss, right? But then again, right, my advice is, show us what exactly does it do, so that we can kind of double click and kind of do deeper dive, right? But great progress. I really love the traction slides. Let's keep going and let's continue this conversation offline. So thank you, Eric.
Thank
What
you.
is your mark, Brian? What is your mark? What's the number?
3.5.
3.5. Okay,
Oh,
perfect.
sorry.
Our first presentation. Okay, so Eric, thank you very much. Stop the share screen and we will go on to founder or company number 2.